You have no heart, only lust. His eyes darkened further at her words. Then he gritted his teeth, angrily pulling her head strongly as he bent down slightly, bringing his face closer to hers. Do you want me to show you what lust is? All right, why wouldn't I show it? She narrowed her eyes, not understanding how he was showing it. Then she noticed his hand movements. With one hand, he pointed at his point zipper, causing her eyes to widen. Come, unzip it. I'll show you what I said. No, she couldn't even manage one word trembling. She wanted to get up and leave, but he chuckled at her darkly. Don't be lazy. There is no one here except us. Do it quickly. His eyes pierced hers, but she didn't comply with his demands. Instead, a tear fell from her eye, a silence expressing her helplessness. You're shy, baby. Okay, let me unzip it for you. He smirked, showing no concern for her discomfort as he reached towards his pants to unzip them. Please stop, don't do this. No, I'll show you what lust is, baby. She became more frightened, crying and trying to stand from her kneeling position, but his grip on her hair was too strong for her to fight. When he was about to unzip his pants, saying something, she closed her eyes tightly and screamed in fear. Her tone echoed through the whole room, but she felt her hair became free as his grip on her hand was no more. She heard him mockingly laughing at her louder than before. You scared? You scared, girl. Open your damn eyes. I didn't unzip it yet. He laughed more. Then she opened her eyes and saw him with tension, sighing as she looked him up and down anxiously. You really thought I would make you? He mocked her, stepping back and sitting on a chair with his legs crossed. His shoe was in front of her face. She felt a sense of insult as she looked at him from his shoe to his face with seriousness. Your place is always there, under my legs, beauty, he said sarcastically, bringing his face closer to hers from his sitting position. You must always be like this under me, whether you like it or not. My little beautiful. I'm not your slut for you to call whatever you like. I'm not your slave to stay near your feet. He silenced her by pulling her into his lap, locking her with his one strong arm on her waist. His other hand gripped the back of her neck strongly, forcing her to look at him directly at his face. Yes, you're my slut. Yes, you are my slave. I'll do whatever I want with you. I'll call you whatever I want. I won't allow you to do that. Shut up. You are raising your voice too much. You must have been raised like a princess by your damn dad. But here, you are just a slave. Got it? She was trying to get up from his lap without answering him, which he didn't like. He took seconds and yelled at her face. Stop struggling. She flinched but didn't stay calm. He became more annoyed by her disobedience. No words can make you obey me. I know how to make you obey me. His grip on her tightened even more, leaving marks on her skin from his fingerprints as she struggled and felt more pain under his grip. You are hurting me. Let me go. I have the right to hurt you. Stop claiming nonsense. Did you raise me? Are you even my husband to have rights over me? His silence made her feel relieved, thinking maybe he would leave her. But when he smiled at her again, I'll make you my wife now by kissing you. Are you mad? She was getting scared knowing Jungkook was well aware of her details, including the fact that she never kissed anyone. Let your husband kiss you, baby girl. Don't you want to experience your first kiss? He chuckled at her, bringing his face closer to hers to kiss him. But how could she let him kiss her? She tried to push his face away with her hands, but he grabbed both of her hands with one of his own. With his other hand, he gripped her neck and locked her legs between his own. His other hand forcefully gripped the back of her neck, making her face closer to his. He aggressively smashed his lips against hers without any warning. She cried and struggled in his grip. Her whole body danced as he kissed her dangerously forcefully. She struggled, feeling like he was literally robbing her of her sense with his aggressive kissing. That's when he broke the kiss and released her legs and hands. She immediately got up from his lap and moved away from him, harshly wiping her lips. However, she went blank when she noticed her lips were bleeding. Your blood is just as tasty as your lips, baby girl, he said, licking his bottom lip as he watched her struggle. She glanced at him with her red teary eyes, wanting to kill him for hurting her so much. But she was trapped and couldn't do anything but endure this hell. Holding back her tears, she looked at him and called his name for the first time. Jungkook, I won't forgive you for this. Not just for this, but for everything. I'll make you regret it. I'll make you kneel before me. Oh no, I'm so scared. Even with my last breath, I won't lower my head for you, baby girl. Let's see, she said, walking towards the door. She opened it and left, not looking back. Jungkook didn't follow her. He remained sitting in his position, biting his lower lip as she disappeared from his sight. Oh, baby girl, it's not just your beauty. There is something about you that makes me more and more obsessed. Like there is no tomorrow for me. He slowly rested his head on the head of the chair with satisfaction. Man, she has literally become my obsession. Vine was crying, still wiping her lips, even though they were hurting from her own touch. He is such a heartless. I won't ever accept a guy like him as my husband. She is still there wiping her lips, harshly with disgustingly cursing him under her breathing. But suddenly she felt someone's presence, and she looked back and saw Jimin again, who was coming near her. She ignored him, looking forward as he came to sit beside her, fixing his shirt and trying to catch her eye. However, she continued to avoid looking at him. Hey girl. She still didn't look at him. He pouted again and called out to her, unaware of what happened between her and Jungkook. Hey, look at me. When he asked her, he held her hand, causing her to immediately look at him, to scold him to touch her without permission, as if he might do it like Jungkook does. When she turned to face him, the way he looked at her with concern made her unable to scold him, and her face went blank. When I touched her, she looked at me with a serious expression. However, upon seeing tears in her eyes, cuts on her lips with dry blood at the corners, I felt saddened and couldn't bear it. My concern for her was evident, as if she was someone dear to me, despite her being the daughter of our family. Princess, what happened to your lips? He touched her lips, but she didn't respond or push him back. Instead, he caressed her lips with his thumb slowly, as if it too relieved the pain from her cuts with his gentle touch. Princess, is it hurting? She felt like he was one of her family members whenever he called her princess. When he asked like that, she nodded, blinking her eyes with tears falling on his hands as he continued to caress her hurting lips. I'll go and bring some ointment. He left from there. She didn't say anything or more, observing why he was so different compared to Jungkook. Jimin came back and sat beside her gently, lifting her chin to inspect the injury. His eyes were fixed only on her, not wandering elsewhere, while she looked into his eyes with unknown emotion. Hold still, princess. She didn't speak to him as he took a small tube of ointment and squeezed it above the cooling substance onto his fingertip. Applying it to her cut to comfort her, she winced, feeling a mixture of pain and pleasure. It will heal soon. Try not to touch it too much. Saying this, he shifted his gaze from her lips to her eyes and noticed she was looking into his eyes. At first, he was confused. The way she was looking at him made him lose himself. He brought his face closer to hers, and she didn't move. Slowly, he wrapped his hand gently around the back of her neck. As he leaned in, however, she winced in pain. Her neck still hurt from when Jungkook had forcefully squeezed it while kissing her for support. He narrowed his eyes at her reaction, puzzled as well. He knew he had only been trying to be held gently, not with any force. Immediately he let go of her neck and moved away from her. What? She didn't answer but looked at him nervously, as if he was dangerous to her. Princess, why are you looking at my face like that? She shook her head and turned away from him. He shrugged his shoulders and cleaned his hands. Did I hurt you by any chance? She shook her head. But what she asked him, look at her side profile. Why are you showing concern to me, even though you know who my father is? Is there any rule that says I shouldn't help, even if they belong to our enemies? Her silence made him sigh. He is wanting to make her feel at ease. Hey, I already came to your home. Do you remember that day? She looked at him with hesitation, narrowing her eyebrows. Is that true? Jimmy nodded. When I came to your mansion, I saw your shadow as I was leaving. You don't know how much I wanted to see you. But why did you want to see me? Mr. Kim was talking with someone about his daughter, feeling very tense. There were 10 guards around them listening to their plans, and at the exact time, Mr. Kim received a phone call from an unknown number, but he didn't pick it up. I hope you all understand my plan. His phone started ringing again. This time, Mr. Kim was about to ignore the call as usual, but then he thought, what if Ryan is the one calling him? He immediately picked up the call. Hello, Ryan. Even though he called, there was no response from the other side of the phone call, which made Mr. Kim tense. Hello, who is this? As he said this, he heard the person laughing, which made Mr. Kim realize it was Jungkook. Jungkook? Jungkook didn't answer but chuckled at Mr. Kim's shivering tone. Hello, Jungkook, please talk to me. Jungkook started laughing evilly, causing Mr. Kim heart to race even faster. Jungkook, please leave my daughter. Which daughter? Mr. Kim, didn't you tell my brother that we misunderstood and that you don't have any daughter? Jungkook said sarcastically, making Mr. Kim recall exactly what he said to Jimin before. Jungkook, please, I'm sorry for lying to your brother. If you wanna take revenge, take it on me. Why are you dragging my daughter into this? And what? Don't drag your daughter into this? I'll drag her into everything. And don't worry, I'll give you updates about her from time to time. Please, Jungkook, she isn't like us. She doesn't even know the outside world. I know. But you know, I showed her something she had never felt before. What? Fear. You know how scared she gets whenever she sees me? And you know what I did to make her automatically scared like this? Please, Jungkook, don't scare her. Please ask me something, I'll give you. Really, you will? Yes, I want your wine. Come on, give her to me. Jungkook, mind your language. She isn't a doll for you to take. When Mr. Kim spoke seriously from the beginning, it stopped Jungkook from laughing. Keep talking like that, Mr. Kim, and you will see how I'll use your daughter to hurt you. No, Jungkook, I'm sorry. I accidentally raised my tone. Please don't hurt her. Get ready for the new update, Mr. Kim. No, Jungkook, please listen to me once. Hello? Hello? He realized that Jungkook had already ended the phone call. He knelt down in frustration, tense and fearful, screamed of what he might hear about the update concerning his daughter.